Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. It's time, once again, for another depressing dose of dismal Disney. The opening weekend box office numbers for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 are in, and they're rather interesting. Domestically, the film earned $114 million, which is slightly better than the $110 million domestic opening weekend that the trades were projecting a few days ago. But that's still well below the $130 million that they were projecting about 3 weeks ago. Internationally, the movie earned $168.1 million, which is considerably more than the $140 million that the trades were projecting for the movie's opening weekend. Thus, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 had a global opening weekend box office of $282.1 million, which is $32.1 million more than the trades were predicting. So, for the initial opening weekend, the domestic share is currently only 40.41%, which is lower than the domestic shares for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which were 44.9% and 53.1% respectively. Consequently, if the movie maintains that low of a domestic share during its theatrical run, using the previous projection calculations that I had used that are based on the weekend-to-weekend box office percentage drops and weekday box office percentages from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Wakanda Forever, but replacing the domestic shares from those two movies with the low 40.41% domestic share that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 currently has, then the final box office projections go up considerably to a range of around $711 million to $753 million, with an average of around $732 million. That entire range is well above the film's estimated break-even point of $625 million, which is obtained by multiplying the film's $250 million production budget by 2.5 to account for the 50% of gross ticket sales that movie theaters keep for themselves, as well as the additional costs of marketing the movie and other miscellaneous costs that the studio pays above and beyond the production budget. So even though the film isn't doing well domestically, if it can maintain a high international box office, it could potentially break even. But we'll have to wait and see how well the international box office holds up over the coming weeks. If the international box office begins to drop as compared with the domestic box office, that will push the domestic share higher than 40.4% and will limit the film's overall potential earnings, as well as its chances of breaking even. Right now, it's too early to tell which way it will go, but if the film does break even, it will be far more due to its international box office earnings than its domestic earnings. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.